You never married?
No.
No?
No.
So-
Well, but never married.
Was that a conscientious decision on your part, or just something that never happened?
I just didn't meet anybody that I really, really think I would like as a husband. Yeah, that's it. And I have other friends. I have some unmarried friends. Yeah.
And you've chosen to stay in the neighborhood this whole time. Do you like living here?
Well, I'm scared. That's why I'm very glad that I have somebody. When he goes to work though, but he's semi-retired now, so he only goes on shutdowns because there's better money, and it's the work is not as good as hard on them. Because I just couldn't live alone. I was scared. Especially at night. So it was really fortunate that I found this person. Yeah.
What would you say is the thing that that you've always liked about living here and continue to like even now despite the challenge? Would be the one thing that you like the most about living in this area?
Well, when the Chinese and Vietnamese people decided to settle along here, the commercial people there, see, they wanted to settle east of the real gate there. That's on that, I don't know which avenue there. But the people, the owners of lands in that section, were asking far too much money. So that's what made them come this way. And then when they started to bother me because there was no house there, that was empty, and then they wanted this property, and I was bothered a lot by phone and everything. Finally, I said to one individual one day, I said, "Listen, sir, is there a sign on my house that it's for sale?" And he said, "No." I said, "Please don't bother me until you see the sign." And everything was calm until they did that streetscaping. Everything was nice. I got one call, and I told that individual the same thing, and now they leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are...
I like it. You see, the thing I wouldn't sell was I'm close to everything. I'm close to downtown. I'm close to the library. All as different, things. I could get a beautiful home in a beautiful district, and I would probably be as lonesome as a mouse because all the people around me would be working all day, and I don't drive. We never had a car in the family, so this is one of the primary reasons that I remained here. Is I have quick access to a lot of yes.
You got a bus stop right outside, and you...
Yeah, but I get pollution.
Yeah, that's true.
You should see what I get when I clean the screens. Yeah. But that was the main reason, and there's some nice people in McCauley. Yeah.
What are some of your hobbies and things that you like to do on a day-to-day basis?
When I was in school, Paula, I was very poor in mathematics, but I love history, and I'm a pack rat. I cut a lot of articles on the journal, and I made scrapbooks on the grads, and right now I'm making that. I'm drawing up that book for Mr. Gildart, and that's where those articles come in handy because I need them to illustrate. I don't like just to write a story, and the book is that thick already, but it's ending.
Yeah, what's the book about? Just the history of the area?
Well, he asked me. See, one day I was at City Hall, and I was arguing with the clerk, the department, about, again, the house, And finally I said to her, "Listen, would you tell me where Mr. Gilhart's office is?" And she said, "Well, it's just this floor above." So I went up, and I was with my tenant then, and so I met him, and then we talked a bit, And it was then that he told me, he said, "Listen, you've lived such a long time in that community. I'd really like you to write the story, and we would photocopy it. You could keep your original, and we photocopy it and keep it here. They must have some archives of some kind, I don't know."
Yeah.
And that's how it's all started, Paula.
And as anyone who lives in this area knows, there are some challenges to living in this area.
Oh, yeah.
How do you deal with the challenges of life in McCauley?
Well, those challenges have just come since we've had, you know, these poor people that, you know, they're homeless and they've fallen into drugs and, you know, spirits and everything. Mm-hmm. And the poor souls, their brains are half, you know, you can't hire them, many of them, because their brains are just burned out. Well, when as I say, with the tenant here, they don't, you know, go around too much. Mm-hmm. And when he's not here, like one particular day, I was in the kitchen at noontime, and I could hear some talking, which was very close. So I looked through the window, and here were a couple of those people that were each with a big bottle. And I became frightened, you see, so I went to my neighbor here, and I told him. And so he phoned the police, and they said they were terribly busy downtown. And so, and Sean said I could stay there as long as I wanted, you know. So, but I could see his customers were coming in and everything. So I came back home, and I tolerated again for a while. And then I looked out, and when they had finished, they walked off and just left the bottles, you see. And then they used to sleep in the yard because the tree that big tree there used to have the branches right at earth level, you see. And that scared me. So we decided that we better cut the lower branches so that they would be visible to the, you know, when people walk by. And that's about it. You know.
So you'd say it's primarily a homeless problem that's affecting the area the most?
Yes, that's right, Paula. Yeah.
What do you think the city should do about homelessness?
Well, I think what they're trying to do is trying to get them into, you know, not living in Hope Mission or things like that. But are they going to look after, you know, if some of those people have to be monitored continually. So that's going to require people to monitor them. Like I had a lady who used to go in the house over here, and she'd check, you know, you have to check if these people are taking their medications according to what the doctors has prescribed. And so they have to be monitored. And that's work too. And where are you going to get those people to look after them? That's the only thing. I don't know. It's a real problem. A real problem. But what I don't like is the way they're dumping everything in Boyle and McCauley.
What do you think of the idea of the Boyle Renaissance?
Well, I'm not too familiar because I didn't, you know, I followed a bit, was in the journal and a bit of the literature that was sent to us. But I can't say I know too much about Boyle.
What's your view of the McCauley revitalization that's going on right now?
I'm sorry, but I'm not happy with it at all.
In what way?
Well, you know, two ways. Paula, the meetings are all in the evening, and they're over at the park. Now, can you figure a senior, you know, leaving the house and going over there, and you know that they did have, though. I think they did have one afternoon session.
Yes, there was.